am Tammy Reed in with your VON Major News Package for today, Thursday, 19 September 2019. In our lead stories, nationally, St. Kitts and Nevis celebrates 36 years of independence, and St. Kitts and Nevis and the other northern Leeward Islands are asked to monitor Hurricane Jerry. Regionally, roofs blown off as Umberto batters Bermuda, no lives lost. Internationally, Ecuador abortion, National Assembly rejects easing law in rape cases. And in sports, NBA Board of Governors approves sales of nets to Josai. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail. Today, September 19, 2019, marks 36 years of nationhood for the Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and while thousands took time out to reflect on the significance of this milestone, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris wants Kittitians and Nevisians to also remain focused on the task of nation building. The Prime Minister, in his independence address, stated that through unity, Kittitians and Nevisians can confidently face the social, economic, political, and cultural challenges and seek to further advance the well-being of the people and the resilience of the nation. Meantime, Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley, addressed the island of Nevis on its 36th year of independence. He reflected on the difficulties experienced thus far, including the closure of Brownhill Communications and the temporary closure of the Four Seasons Resort, and highlighted its achievements from the largest expansion of the Alexandra Hospital to the Republic of China-Taiwan microloan program. In conclusion, Premier Brantley encouraged the people to remain hopeful for the future through his statement, "It is that hope that will give us as a people the necessary confidence to face tomorrow." The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis in this year observing its independence anniversary under the theme Unify, Transform, Enrich, Uplifting Communities for Independence 36. In related news, head of the Catholic Church and sovereign leader of Vatican City-State, His Holiness Pope Francis, has conveyed a congratulatory message to the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis on celebration of its 36th anniversary of independence. In a congratulatory message to His Excellency Sir Samuel Tapley Seaton, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Holiness Pope Francis said, "I send cordial greetings to Your Excellency and to your fellow citizens on the occasion of the National Day of St. Kitts and Nevis. With prayerful good wishes, I invoke upon all the people of the Federation the abundant blessings of Almighty God." St. Kitts and Nevis, along with the rest of the Northern Leeward Islands, are asked to closely monitor Hurricane Jerry as it is expected to pass north of the islands on Friday. Jerry has intensified into a hurricane with winds of 75 miles per hour today, Thursday. The hurricane is 490 miles to the east of Antigua in the Northern Leeward Islands. Jerry is likely to track just to the north of the Northern Leeward Islands during Friday and Friday night, then north of the Virgin Islands later Friday night, then north of Puerto Rico on Saturday. With that said, a small southward shift in the projected track would place these locations within the radius of tropical storm force winds. Even though the current forecast takes Jerry more than 100 miles to the north of these islands, Some wind and rain can be expected across these areas Friday and Saturday. Any residents or visitors of interest in the northern Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico should continue to closely monitor the progress of Jerry. Nevis Reformation Party NRP's St. Paul St. John's candidate for the upcoming federal election in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Kelvin Daly, has launched his campaign. The event was held at Boko Park here on Nevis. Chairing the occasion was Mr. Carlisle Powell, who informed the large gathering that the people of Nevis need a change now more than ever before. Mr. Hensley Daniel, a member of parliament in the Nevis Island administration, Honorable Joseph Parry, both gave ringing endorsements to Dr. Daly, each stating that Daly is a man of the people. Leader of the NRP, Mr. Umberto Hector, informed the crowd that Dr. Daly is what we need today. Dr. Daly spoke on his visionary plans for a better Nevis and stated, and I quote, "A fair share agreement will be laid out once I am the federal parliamentarian representative, and I will ensure that Nevis receives their rightful share of monies due to them through the SIDF. St. Kitts and Nevis's next federal elections are constitutionally due by 2020. Police are investigating a shooting incident in which 53-year-old Ivan Dunward of Westbourne Gut, St. Kitts was wounded. Investigations so far have revealed that sometime after 5 p.m. on Wednesday, September 18, 2019, Dunward was by a shop in Keys Village when he was approached and shot by an assailant. Dunward ran from the scene and met an officer who was in the area. The officer transported him to the JNF hospital in a police vehicle. Dunward was treated for injuries to his arm and is listed as being in a stable condition. Members of the crime scene unit visited and processed the scene. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. The VON News line will provide more on this story as it develops. The police are making an appeal to anyone who might have any information in relation to this incident to call the Violent Crimes Unit VCU at 467-1887-662-3468 or their nearest police station. Persons can also share information using the crime hotline 707. The signing of a bilateral cooperation agreement in the field of sports between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of Argentina will create a framework for ongoing technical assistance and exchanges. That's according to Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Sports, the Honorable Sean Richards. The agreement between the two countries was signed on Wednesday, September 18th at the Agriculture Conference Room at Government Headquarters. Deputy Prime Minister Richards described the occasion as significant and explained the agreement. His Excellency Gustavo Martinez Pandani, Ambassador of the Republic of Argentina to St. Kitts and Nevis, said this is the first in many agreements in his capacity as ambassador. Minister Richards expressed his appreciation to the government of the Republic of Argentina for entering into this agreement, noting that there are many benefits to be derived from this initiative. Gave second chances to at-risk youth and former residents of Her Majesty's Prison. That's an appeal which came from Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Hilroy Brandy, and Commissioner of Corrections, Mr. Terence James. The commissioners made the remarks at several events held recently. While speaking at the passing out ceremony of course number 43, Acting Commissioner Brandy implored persons to find ways to reach out to young people. Commissioner of Corrections Terence James, while appearing on Policing with You, also made a call to give rehabilitated residents a second chance. He said that often persons who have been incarcerated and released are marginalized and denied opportunities for employment. Tyrone Ty Tribet will headline the St. Kitts and Nevis Independence Gospel Concert on Sunday, September 22nd. Ty is a multiple Grammy Award and Soul Train Music Award winning gospel singer and founder of the Grammy-nominated and Stellar Award-winning gospel group Thai Tribet and GA. The event begins at 6 p.m. on the Frigate Bay lawn. There is no admission fee. Tribet is described by some as the Elvis of gospel and has earned a reputation as having one of the most relevant voices of this generation. He won his first Grammy Award in 2014 for the song If He Did It Before, Same God Live. The song was recognized as the best gospel song. Tribet also won a Grammy for the best gospel album Greater Than Life that same year. Tribet is also known for hit tunes such as Work It Out, He Turn It, Fresh, What Can I Do, Already Won, I Give You Glory, and You. The concert will be hosted by Pastor Jeremy Thomas and Pastor Philip Webb. St. Kitts and Nevis is celebrating its 36th anniversary of independence today. Finally, Mr. Farron Lawrence was appointed as the first Honorary Council of the Republic of Indonesia to St. Kitts and Nevis on Tuesday, September 17th. An Honorary Council is usually a citizen of the host country designated by a foreign government to look after the affairs of its citizens. During a brief ceremony at Mr. Lawrence's office in the Hospice Complex on Wellington Road, Bastia, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Mark Brantley, congratulated Mr. Lawrence on his new post and extended thanks to the government and people of Indonesia for strengthening the ties between both countries. His Excellency Prayo Iswanto, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to St. Kitts and Nevis, expressed his most sincere appreciation to all who were instrumental in the appointment of the Honorary Council. Ambassador Iswanto presented 3 items to His Excellency Lawrence, namely, a commission letter from the President of the Republic of Indonesia, the official identification pin of the Honorary Council, and the flags of both countries. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Life can be more fulfilling when we take the time out to smell the roses. And that's why your friends and family at the Bank of Nevis are experts at picking the flowers that best describe you. Whether you're planning to treat yourself after a long work week or finally getting around to that closet update, you deserve all the special things that life has to offer. And the Bond Visa card is here to help you achieve it. With just a swipe, you can turn a last-minute lunch date with friends and family into something worth remembering, with memories that will last a lifetime. Pampering yourself just got a whole lot easier. And after all, you deserve every refreshing moment of it. The ability to make your travel arrangements at your own convenience, whether by sea or by air, now rests within the palm of your hand. With a single swipe, the Bond Visa card can put a world of difference between life and truly living. Whereas the only limits you may have is your own imagination. Apply today. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back, and now the regional news in detail. In Bermuda, numerous buildings have been damaged and more than 28,000 people lost power as Hurricane Umberto battered Bermuda. Somerset Police Station lost part of its roof, although all officers were said to be safe in the storm that has lashed the island with hurricane-force winds for several hours. According to the Royal Gazette, the Cedar Bridge Academy shelter suffered damaged windows, but none of the 46 members of the public or 30 support staff were injured. Part of the roof blew off at Island Glass on Serpentine Road. At least 8 homes were reported damaged in the west wind, and the government warned people to stay off the roads in the morning because of downed trees and power lines. At Umberto's peak point of impact at about 8:30 p.m., Wind speeds of more than 81 miles per hour and gusts of more than 114 miles per hour were recorded at LF Wade International Airport. The storm's closest point to the island came at 9 p.m. when it was about 75 miles away. Wayne Keynes, the Minister of National Security, said at 7:45 a.m., "We have come through a really challenging night. There were no fatalities. Our country is resilient. Today we are going to get through this." In Puerto Rico, two Federal Emergency Management Agency FEMA officials assigned to help manage restoration efforts in the country after Hurricane Maria has been charged with fraud and bribery for allegedly trying to enrich themselves by helping a company that received $1.8 billion in government contracts, the Justice Department has announced. According to independent.co.uk, one of the officials whom the Justice Department identified as FEMA's primary leader for restoring power on the island pressured her colleagues and Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority officials to give government work to the company, Cobra Acquisitions, authorities said. In exchange, authorities said the company's then president gave her a helicopter ride, hotel accommodations, first-class airfare, personal security services, and use of a credit card. In addition, when a friend and colleague left FEMA, the executive helped her get a job at Cobra Energy, authorities said. These defendants were supposed to come to Puerto Rico to help during the recovery after the devastation suffered from Hurricane Maria. Instead, they decided to take advantage of the precarious conditions of our electric power grid and engage in a bribery, the U.S. Attorney for Puerto Rico said in a statement announcing the indictment. A Brazilian national 34-year-old Marcos Vinicius da Silva, who arrived in Dominica on August 15, 2019, has been arrested and charged for the theft of $150,000 using magnetic counterfeit strips at the National Bank of Dominica. According to court documents, da Silva, though a native of Brazil, has command of the English language, having lived and worked in the USA. On arrival in Dominica, he resided in Portsmouth and rented an Escudo Suzuki. Between August 15th and 22nd, 2019, da Silva used the counterfeit magnetic strips to withdraw large sums of monies at several ATM of the NDB at Roseau Field, Portsmouth, and Calibishi. The bank, being aware of the suspicious transaction, reported the matter to the police, who met da Silva at the ATM at the Canefield Airport at about 3 p.m. on Thursday, August 22, 2019. A search was conducted on his person, and $305 in cash and 8 blank value-loaded magnetic strip cards were found. A search of the vehicle found $3,215.05. The cash in one of the plastic bags total $50,020, and the cash in the other plastic bag total $97,300, totaling $147,320. Also, the cash $3,215.05 and $300.05 found in the glove compartment of the rental vehicle total $1,050, $840.05. The court was told that of the cash stolen by da Silva, $94.95 was missing. They recovered $149,905.05. Finally, in Trinidad, Digimon Saunders, the grandson of a former government minister and former Faizabad Member of Parliament Arthur Sanderson, was gunned down on Wednesday night. Digimon Sanderson, 21, was killed in a drive-by shooting in Faizabad around 11 p.m. when he exited a vehicle near his home at Gowers Well Road when a white vehicle pulled up alongside. The occupants of the vehicle opened fire, and Digimon Sanderson was shot several times. He fell into a drain and died, police said. Residents contacted police and officers of the Fayazad CID and Homicide Region 3 responded. Police said that Digimon Sanderson went to court on Monday for the offense of possession of marijuana. His killing took the murder toll to 392, according to an express tally. That's it for the regional stories. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. Ecuador's parliament has rejected a controversial bill to allow abortion in cases of rape, a proposal that exposed divisions in the traditionally Catholic country. Supporters of the reform pointed to what they say is an epidemic of rapes of girls and underage pregnancies. Some oppose it on religious grounds, saying innocent lives would be at risk. Abortion is allowed only after the rape of a woman with a mental disability or when the mother's life is in danger. The proposal, which could also decriminalize abortion in cases of fetal abnormalities, fell 5 votes short of the 70 required for its approval at the National Assembly. 59 members were against it and 6 refrained from voting. The current abortion laws have been in place since 1938, and women undergoing terminations face up to 2 years in jail. During the vote, dozens of pro-choice and anti-abortion protesters gathered outside the parliament's building in the capital. After the result was announced, supporters of the bill clashed with police, who used pepper spray to disperse them. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his rival Benny Gantz are jostling over the terms of a unity government after the country's second election in a year ended in deadlock. Local media say both men's party failed to win enough votes on Tuesday to build a coalition with a majority. Mr. Netanyahu urged Mr. Gantz to start negotiations on a joint administration. Mr. Gantz rebuffed the idea, calling it spin. He said he wanted a unity government, but only one led by him. His party has ruled out joining a coalition led by Mr. Netanyahu, who faces possible charges of corruption. More in this BBC report.
Mr. Netanyahu acknowledged he could not form a government of just the right wing, so what he called a broad unity coalition should be established. But his call for an immediate meeting with Mr. Gantz was rebuffed. Instead, the former general and other top blue and white officials held a news conference at which they called the offer spin and said an agreement with Mr. Netanyahu's Likud party couldn't work with him as leader. It sets the stage for several long weeks of political bartering.
20 people have died after a truck packed with explosives was detonated by Taliban militants outside a hospital in southern Afghanistan. Many of the victims in the attack in Kalta city were doctors and patients, according to local media reports. Reports have since emerged of at least another 50 civilian deaths, this time in an airstrike aimed at Islamic State militants in the east. Last month, at least 473 civilians were killed in the conflict, the BBC found. Here is more in this report.
This was the month where Afghans had hoped against hope that a peace process would start, that at least they'd be negotiating. But with the sudden cancellation of this process between the United States and the Afghan Taliban at the start of the month by President Trump, what we're seeing now is that two sides, both the Afghan Taliban and the Afghan government backed by US-led NATO forces, are striking each other harder than ever. And every day Afghans wake up asking, where is the next attack going to come?
Finally, the Bank of England has signaled that prolonged Brexit uncertainty will keep interest rates lower for longer. Policymakers said the UK would avoid falling into recession this year, but warned that Brexit and trade worries were weighing on the economy. The bank kept interest rates on hold at 0.75%. The Monetary Policy Committee that sets interest rates also warned that a no Brexit deal would hit the economy. Policymakers said it will lead to weaker growth, higher inflation, and a further drop in the value of the pound. However, the bank stressed that interest rates could move up or down if the UK left the European Union without a deal. The minutes of the bank's September meeting said that policymakers would have to balance raising interest rates to keep a lid on inflation against cutting them to support growth. That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Independence has never felt so good.
Oh, land of beauty, no.
And the GBC Home and Building Depots in St. Kitts and Nevis are making it even better. For 3 days, the 18th, the 20th, and the 21st of September, get 25% off items in store. That's 1, 2, 3 more reasons to get all you need from your favorite retail stores. Show your independence. Shop at the TDC Home and Building Depots. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back, and now the sports in detail. The NBA Board of Governors have approved the sale of the Brooklyn Nets to co-founder of the China-based global internet company Alibaba Group Holding Limited, Joe Tsai. Additionally, the Nets made a change in the front office as well, NBA.com says. Leading media and sports executive David Levy was named Chief Executive Officer of the Brooklyn Nets and Barclays Center. It was announced today by Joe Tsai, who, through entities controlled by him, completed the acquisition of full ownership of both the Brooklyn Nets and Barclays Center today. Levy will also serve as the president of JSI Sports, the sports investment and holding vehicle controlled by Tsai. Additionally, Levy will join Tsai's family office as a venture partner with coverage of sports, media, and entertainment investments globally. In his role as CEO of the Nets and Barclays Center, Levy, who has more than a 30-year career working with the NBA, will oversee all business, revenue, strategy, and operations for the franchise and arena. David Levy has been named the new CEO of the Brooklyn Nets. S. Malik hit the sweet spot between batsmanship and captaincy on Wednesday night at Sabina Park, extending Guyana Amazon Warriors' winning start to a fifth game with a crushing 81-run defeat of host Jamaica Talawas. Malik applied the finishing touches to a dominating batting effort, his unbeaten 37-ball 67 taking Guyana to 218 before outsmarting the Talawas top order with 8 overs of relentless spin. Scores: Guyana Amazon Warriors 218 for 6 in 20 overs, Jamaica Talawas 137 in 17.3 overs. In more cricket news, Kent wrapped up a thumping 433-run win over Yorkshire on the final day at Headland. The hosts, having resumed on 44 for 6, resisted for 2 hours before eventually being bowled out for 117. Kent's 43-year-old all-rounder Darren Stevens, who struck 237 in the visitors' first innings, rounded off an astonishing personal display with 5 for 20. Kent move above Yorkshire to the 4th in the Division 1 table and are 2 points behind third place Hampshire. In basketball, the Golden State Warriors has unveiled a slate of 6 jerseys for the 2019-2020 NBA season. The team's inaugural campaign at Chase Center, the Warriors' state-of-the-art sports and entertainment complex in San Francisco's Mission Bay neighborhood, NBA.com says. All Warriors practice and game jerseys, both home and away, will continue to feature the Rocketon badge on the upper left corner. As part of the Warriors' rebrand earlier this summer, 4 of the 6 jerseys feature the team's new logos and custom font. That's it for the sports segment. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back. Another local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight becoming increasingly cloudy late tonight into tomorrow, with a 70% or high chance of showers and a 40% or moderate chance of thunderstorms during that time. Winds east at 7 to 19 kilometers per hour or 4 to 10 knots, becoming lighter and variable or even calm overnight. Seas northerly swells of 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet. And sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:59 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Thursday, 19 September 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, St. Kitts and Nevis celebrates 36 years of independence, and St. Kitts and Nevis and the other northern Leeward Islands are asked to monitor Hurricane Jerry. Regionally, roofs blown off as Hurricane Umberto batters Bermuda, no lives lost. Internationally, Ecuador abortion, National Assembly rejects easing law in rape cases. And in sports, NBA Board of Governors approves sale of Nets to Josai. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tammy Reed, wishing you a pleasant evening.